Start the new mimer for Yudal of Nisan. So this was Yudal of Nisan Tavshim and Beis. When the Rebbe said the mimer Kimei Tzeitzcha, and then it was published a few years later. This was published in Tavshim and Zayin, Yudal of Nisan Tavshim and Zayin. Okay, B'siyayte Dishmaya Yudal of Nisan Hey Tavshin Membeis. The Rebbe quotes a posik from the Navi Micha. Let's see here. The Rebbe quotes a pasuk from the pasuk in Micha, and the pasuk says, "K'mei tzeitzcha me'eretz Mitzrayim Aránu Neflאות." So basically, just like in the days when you left Egypt, so in the future, talking about the Geula HaSida, the future redemption, the building of the third Beis Hamikdash, the Eibishter says, "I will also show you wonders." Just like I showed you wonders in the days that you left Mitzrayim, so I will show you wonders in the future. That's the Pashto Pshat in the Pasuk, as we'll see. The Rebbe brings down the other Pirush, as we'll see in a minute. So the Yedua Diuk HaZoyar Bozer. So it's known the Zoyar points out over here in this pasuk, Huva Bedrusha Rabbeinu Nisienu, and it was brought down in the Maimorim for our Rebbes, our leaders. The Mashakosuv Kimei Loshen Rabin. It says, like the day. Kimei Tzeitzcha Me'eretz Mitzrayim, like the days you left Egypt. Days is a plural, specifically meaning several days. K'imei. Baharei, the question is, there wasn't many days they went out of Mitzrayim. Yitzias Mitzrayim happened on the 15th of Nisan, one day. The next day they were already out. Baharei Yitzias Mitzrayim hoysa b'yoyim echad. The exodus of Egypt took place in one day, not Yimei. And this is also the way we say it when we say B'schidas Yitzias Mitzrayim Ksiv. When the pasuk says you should remember the exodus of Egypt. What does the pasuk say over there? It doesn't say plural over there. Over there it says Zocher es hayoim hazeh asher yitzosem miMitzrayim. Remember this day. That's talking about one day that you came out of Mitzrayim. Or the pasuk says, "Leman tizker es yoim tzeitzcha me'eretz Mitzrayim," so that you remember the day you went out of Mitzrayim. There's no plural there. How come over here it says K'imei? Lomo nemar K'imei loshen rabin. Why does it say here like the days in a plural? So this is the question of the Zohar brought down in the Maimorim. Now, as the Maimorim explained from the Zohar, that every day, even though they went out of Mitzrayim one day, but they keep on going out of Mitzrayim, as the Rebbe will explain later on. We also have to understand the meaning of the pasuk. As we learn it in simply, it seems like that also when the Yidden will go out in the future, there will also be the miracles like there was miracles in the times. There was Neflאות in the time when they left Egypt. But the truth is, it seems that when they left Egypt, the miracles were not as great as the miracles that will be in the future when Mashiach comes. Why are we saying, just like the days you left Egypt, so it seems almost that the days in the future will be much greater miracles? Why are we trying to compare the miracles that will take place, the Navi Micha brings down the Kemei Tzeitzcha Meretz Mitzrayim. I will show you miracles. There'll be even much greater miracles, not just like when they went out of Mitzrayim. So that's it. Sam tzarich lahavim b'teichen hakosov. Kemei Tzeitzcha Meretz Mitzrayim Aran Nefloes. The Pirush HaPoshut B'zehu. What is the simple meaning of this pasuk? The future redemption, which is coming very quickly in our days actually. Al Yidei Mashiach Tzidkenu, through our righteous Mashiach, it's going to be in the way Aránu Niflos, the Abrish that will show us wonders. Just as it was in the redemption of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Move on, so it's not understood. It's explained, articulated in many and many verses and saying of our sages of blessed memory. That it is specifically the future redemption that is going to be a whole redemption. After the Geula HaSida, there is no exile that will be after that. As opposed to the redemption that took place of Mitzrayim, there was a Golus. They went out of Mitzrayim, Takya, but then they even went into further Golus. So it wasn't the ultimate Geula. So the real Geula and the most fantastic Geula will be in the future. So the Geula of the future will be a much greater than the Geula of Yetzias Mitzrayim. There's going to be no Golus afterwards, so that means it's the highest level of Geula. Mashenkin after Yetzias Mitzrayim there was another Golus, and the Rebbe says, and therefore, Take, because we say that the Geula Asida is greater, that's why we find that Lifideya Achas, according to one opinion, Ein Mazkirim Yetzias Mitzrayim Li Moisa Mashiach. According to one opinion, when Mashiach will come, we're not going to talk then, we're not going to mention the exodus of Egypt. Why? Because the exodus of Egypt is going to be considered of no great value after the real redemption of the Geula HaSida. There's no point of mentioning something of a much lesser degree. That means that according to that opinion, at least, it's not even worthy of mention in the Geula HaSida because the Geula HaSida will be much greater. Even according to the other opinion, that we do mention the exodus of Mashiach for the days in the Mashiach, that means that even in the times of Mashiach, there is going to be value, but that's not something which is self-understood. It's tzarich al zeh limud miyuchad. You need a special learning that it includes limois hamashiach. But it means it's not obvious that we will mention in the days of Mashiach about Yetzias Mitzrayim. That means because Yetzias Mitzrayim is not as great as the Geula HaSida, as the future redemption. So what does the pasuk say here? Kemei Tzeitzcha Meretz Mitzrayim Aránu Neflאות. It's just like the day that you went out of the land of Egypt. I'm going to show you wonders later. Sha'ilu, the Geula HaSida. What is the advantage, the greatness of the future redemption? Is Mashagam Oz Yia Aránu Neflאות Kimo Shoyim B'Yetzias Mitzrayim. That then too there will be these wonders like it was in Yetzias Mitzrayim. Why are we comparing it to Yitzias Mitzrayim when the Geula Hasid is even much greater than Yitzias Mitzrayim? And so that's one issue. And besides, it seems like it all started with Yitzias Mitzrayim, which almost seems like it's all that Yitzias Mitzrayim is the beginning of everything. The Yisrael Israel, more than this, that it's on that we're saying is going to be like Yitzias Mitzrayim, the Meloshoin HaKosov. The Meloshin HaKosov, from the language of the Posik, Kimei, Tzeitzcha Meres Mitzrayim, Areanu Niflois. Like the days you left Mitzrayim, show you wonders, Mashma, it's Mashma, Shaniflois, Shahoyo, Bimei, Tzeitzcha Meres Mitzrayim. The wonders that was on the days that you went of Egypt, Heim HaHaschola, the Hashoidish, they're the beginning, and they're the root. Gam al hanifloy sheyiyah begeula hasida, also for those wonders that will take place in the future redemption. The Mazem move on. So from this we understand sheyesh maila ba'geula, the Yitzias Mitzrayim al geula hasida. That's the beginning. So from this we understand that there is an advantage in the redemption of Yitzias Mitzrayim more than the future redemption, because it all started with Yitzias Mitzrayim. So that's what the Rebbe wants to explain. The Rebbe asks several questions. First of all, why does it say Yimei, plural, when it's really only one day that they went out? And also, why are we talking about Yitzias Mitzrayim in the Geula Hasida when it seems like the Geula Hasida is on a higher level, the future higher than the Golus Mitzrayim, the Golus Mitzrayim, like for many Maimar Chazal, many Psukim, and we don't even, some opinions, one opinion says we're not even going to talk about Yitzias Mitzrayim, the Gula Hasida. That means it's much greater. And even if, according to the opinion that we do, it's a pasuk, we have to learn it out. And also, the Rebbe seems like the Yitzias Mitzrayim has an advantage because it was the opening. So what's going on over here? The Rebbe is going to bring another taich in Kimei Tzeitzcha Meres Mitzrayim. Not like we're saying now, just like then will be then, just like by Mitzrayim it will be in the future. No, the pshat is, the other pshat says that this will be wonders even relative to the wonders that took place then. He made Tzeitzcha Meres Mitzrayim, as the days that you went out of Mitzrayim were wonders. Aránu Niflois, I will show you in greater miracles. So that even relative, that way, we're not comparing it to Yitzias Mitzrayim, but on the contrary, we say that it'll be much higher. That's the way we interpret the pasuk. Let's look. Base. Kudas Habir, the point of the explanation is in the pasuk is Kimei Tzeitzcha Meres Mitzrayim Aránu Niflois. This pasuk in Micha, which says, like the days you left Egypt, I will show you wonders. Yesh Nei Pirush. There's two interpretations. Pirush Aleph, one interpretation is the assumption, the Pashut Pshat, like we were learning till now. Shegeula ha'asida tia ka'geula di'yitzias Mitzrayim. That the future redemption will be like the Geula of Yitzias Mitzrayim. We're comparing it to Shagam Oz, that also in the future redemption, Aránu Niflois K'moi Shehoya Ba'Geula Yitzias Mitzrayim, that also then in the future redemption, the Geula Hasida will be that will show us wonders just like it was in the redemption of Yitzias Mitzrayim. That means the main is Yitzias Mitzrayim, and the Eibishter Hashem will also show us miracles in the future, like He showed us then. That's one pirush. Pirush Bey, the second interpretation, Shaniflo is Sheyu Begula Ha'asida, that the wonders that will be in the future redemption, Yiyu Niflois, they will be miraculous, wondrous. Gam be'erech haniflois shahoyu Meretz Mitzrayim, even relative to the wonders that were on the days that you went out of Egypt. In the future redemption, it's going to be wondrous even Lagabe them. So then we're not comparing it to Yitzias Mitzrayim, but on the contrary, we're saying even relative to the Yitzias Mitzrayim, this is going to be at a much higher level. So what it means is like this: the Hagam shebichlolus haniflois, the Geula hasida heimdoimes lahaniflois, the Geulas Mitzrayim. That means that even though, generally speaking, the wonders that will be in the future redemption are similar to the wonders of the Geulas Mitzrayim, Kipirush HaPoshut, as the simple meaning of the pasuk Kimei Tzeicha, that it's similar. Afal Pikein, still the pasuk is saying it'll still be niflois. Yiyan if Yisrael baniflois, there will be an advantage in the wonders of the future. Be'ad sheyiyu niflois gam be'erach haniflois d'tzias Mitzrayim. There will be such an advantage that they will be wondrous even relative to the wonders of the Exodus of Egypt, that even to comparing them to the wonders of Yitzias Mitzrayim, this will be wondrous over them. So that means that we're exaggerating, we're saying bigger, that the Gula will be big. So that means to say that if we combine these two Pirushim, they're both Niflois, but the real Niflois will be Gilu in Losilov. Ubi urmailas haniflois de Losilove al haniflois de Yitzias Mitzrayim. So to explain the advantage of the wonders in the future to come over more than the wonders of the Exodus of Egypt. So first, the Rebbe is going to explain it b'loshen HaKabbalah, in the language of the Kabbalah. What happens is the niflois are considered the hamshocha from the Nun Sharei Bina, the 50 gates of Bina. The Rebbe will explain that the 50 gates of Bina, that's why we count the 49 days after Yitzias Mitzrayim, those are 49. And Shavuos is the 50th day, which that comes already by itself. But these 50 gates of Bina help pull out the Yidden from the 49 gates of Tumah, the 49 gates of Bina, then comes the 50th. But this is all different ways how it comes down, whether it comes down from Bina through Malchus, that's the Shari Bina, or it comes down from Bina directly as it is in Atzilus, or it actually comes out from the root of Bina, the way it's in Kesser. Let's look inside. Hine Yodua, well, it's known. Shebiyitzias Mitzrayim Husrach Lahoitzias Yisrael Mimem Tes Sha'arim Dilu'umazeh. The exodus of Egypt, it was necessary to take the Yidden out from the 49 gates of the other side. The Yidden were caught up. They were caught up in the 49 gates of the other side. It doesn't say the Lashon, but Memtes Shari Tuma, but it says Lu'umazeh, the other side. This is why immediately after they went out, Mitzrayim, we start right away to count the Omer. Why? Every day of the days of the counting, we go out, we exit one of the gates of the other side. So we went out of the 49 Yitzias Mitzrayim, and we start counting immediately because each day is one gate. How do we go out from the gates of the Umazah? Hoyo al yidei hamshochas chamishim sharei bina. That was by drawing down the 50 gates of bina. That's gave the power to get out of the 49 gates of the other side. And the lochen, very interesting. Huskar batoira inyan yitzias mitzrayim nam nun pam. That's why in the Torah we find a mention of the exodus of Egypt 50 times. That is Keneged Nun Shari Bina. That's corresponding to the 50 gates of Bina. Each Yitzias Mitzrayim mentioned is another gate of Bina, of the level of Bina, which takes them out from the Lumazah. So Bina Yadua Shabenun Shari Bina, in the 50 gates of Bina, Yesh Kamo Dargas. So there are several steps over here. You have Nun Shari Bina Kimoisha Nimshachim B'Malchus. So the level of Bina, the 50 gates of Bina, Bina in Atzilus, the way the 50 gates of Bina, they come down into Malchus, Malchus of Atzilus. Now, the Nun is also associated with the idea of Yovel, because Yovel is 50th year. So that is Vu Mashim is Sitra, the Yuvla, the Nun, the side of the Yuvla Bina, Nimshachim b'Malchus. That extends into the level of Malchus. So there is Bina as it extends in Malchus. That's when it's called Shari Bina. The higher that Ulamayla Yosef Hanun Shari Bina, when we talk about a higher level than that, that would be the 50 gates of Bina, like they're in their place. That's in Bina, the level of Bina, Chochma Bina, the level of Bina itself. And then Ulamayla Yosef, we're talking even higher, is Kimoishem Klulin Bishar Hanun, as they're all included in the 50th gate. That 50th gate is Bechinas HaKeser. That's the level of Keser. That's the root. And that's all like in one gate. They're all in the level of Keser. Or Keser Gufa, Bechinas Atik. In Keser itself and the level of Atik. Basically, he's saying there's three levels in which the Shari Bina, the way it's in the level of Chochma, the level of Malchus. There is the Shari Bina, the way it's in the level of Bina itself, and then there's the level of the Nun, the way it's included in one, the way it's in Keser. Lezehu Mashagiluyim Osi Lovei. So now this is according to the Kabbalah, the way on the level of the Madreges. This is what the Giluyim will also love a year Neflois, Gam Be'erech and Neflois the Yitzias Mitzrayim. That they're going to be wondrous, even relative to the Neflois of Yitzias Mitzrayim. Ki nun Shari Bina Shenimshchu B'Yitzias Mitzrayim. Because the 50 gates of Bina that came down when they left Egypt, Heim Ashorim de Bechinas Bina. Those are the Sha'orim of Bina. So over there we say Nun Shari Bina. So that's the gates of Bina. Gates of Bina is talking about the way Bina is already Malchus. Zegufa Kamoshin Nimshachim. So it's the gates of Bina and as they come down through Malchus. So it's a lower level because it's not Bina itself, it's the gates of Bina, and it's the gates of Bina as it comes through Malchus. So that's a lower level. That was in Yitzias Mitzrayim. Mash'enkin la'osi lovei, but in the future to come, Tia hamshochas hanun shadi Bina. Over there, they're going to draw down the Nun Shari Bina Kamoshem B'Keser, like the Nun Shari Bina are in the level of Keser. So a much higher level of the Shari Bina, of the Nun Shari Bina. V'loy oid, not only is it like it's in Keser, Ela should be Keser Gufa, But within Kesed itself, Tia Oz HaHamshocha Mibchinas Atik. Within Kesed, it'll come from the level of Atik. That's Pnimius HaKesed. Uba-Atik Gufa, and from Atik itself, Mibchinas Pnimius Atik. That will come from Pnimius Atik. So basically, the Shari, even though we're talking about the same gate, the same Nun Shari Bina, but it's a totally different level. We're talking about here being from the Hamshocha, from the Shari Bina, the way they are in Pnimius Atik. And Yitzis Mitzrayim was only the level of Shari Bina, the way it is in, comes down through Malchus. And we see this also as it's written with regards to Mashiach. We see this level that is going to be revealed with the coming of Mashiach that we're talking about, the level of Atik. We see this also in the Pasuk, the Me'oid. It says, Avdi, this is talking about Mashiach, Yorum v'nisa v'gova Me'oid. He'll be very high. What is Me'oid? The Me'oid Zed Iksiv Gam Mashiach. When it says here with regards to Mashiach that he's going to be very big, Ubchinas Pnimius Atik. That is the level of Pnimius Atik. This is the level that we're saying about now. That's the Nun Shari Bina, the way it's in Keser and Pnimius Atik. Ubeloshin HaPri Etz Chaim, to use the language of the Pri Etz Chaim. Shekol HaHamshoches Achshov, all the present, what we bring down presently, Hemrak Mibchinas Chitzonius Atik. That's only from the externality of Atik. Ula Osid Lovei Ti Hamshocha V'Gilui Bchinas Pnimius Atik. But in the future to come, there will be the goal of Bchinas Pnimius Atik. So when we look at the words of the Kabbalah, we see how the Geula Hasidah is much greater than the Gulas Mitzrayim, because by Geula Hasidah we're talking about coming from Pnimius Atik versus here coming from Bina through Malchus. So if it is so much greater, the Hamshocha Losid Loved, then it is now. So why is the Torah comparing it and saying, okay, there's Neflאות then, hey, this is greater, but it seems like it's totally higher. We're talking about Pnimius Atik versus Bina coming down through Malchus. Elosha Afal Pikein, Adam HaKosuv HaNiflois Sheyi Begula Hasidah. The Pasuk is still comparing the wonders that will be in the future redemption, LaHaniflois Shahoyu B'Mitzias Mitzrayim, to the wonders that took place by Yitzias. Ukepirush HaPoshut Bekosuv, as the simple meaning in the Pasuk, because while we're saying it's the Niflois Be'erech, that the future miraculous will be great, even compared to the miracles of Mitzias Mitzrayim, but the Torah is still equating them as the simple meaning, just like then more miracles be miracle too. But how could we even compare that? So Kapirush HaPoshut Bekosuv, as the simple meaning in the Pasuk, Shebegeula Hasida Yiyah Arenan Neflאות K'moi Shehoya B'mei Tzatcha Meretz Mitzrayim, that in the future will be miracles as it was when you left Mitzrayim. But we're saying over here, according to the Kabbalah, that the Yitzias Mitzrayim is only Bina the way it comes through Malchus. And here we're talking about the Gilui of Pnimius Atik. To explain, Kigam the Yitzias Mitzrayim Hoyu Gilui Machinayim. Also, when they went out of Exodus of Egypt, there was also fantastic, very great elevation. Ayin Reish Beis, in the Hamshach Ayin Beis, it's explained there, Bepirush, Nigla Aleihem, Melech, Malchem, Lochem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, B'chveidu B'atzmei. What does it mean? We say in the Haggadah that the Eibishter revealed himself by Yitzias Mitzrayim, the king, who is the King of Kings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, B'chveidu B'atzmei. What level, what revelation was there at that time in Pesach? So we said that Kvoide Ba'atzmei are some of the greatest steps We're talking about the Choyde Ba'atzmai. So it almost seems here that it's very much compared to what took place, what will take place in the future, because here too we're talking about the Choyde Ba'atzmai. So then what is the difference? Elo shebeitzias Mitzrayim hoya hagilui debechina zu, but in Yitzias Mitzrayim this revelation came al yidei his hayis lapshus bebechinas malchus. That came by being dressed up in malchus. So it's stuck at the highest of levels, and we can compare them because this is also the great levels, but it dresses up in malchus. Uposach havaye al hapesach. Hashem jumped over the Pesach, which means Hashem jumped over Malchus. The Pesach who b'chinas hamalchus. Pesach is the level of Malchus, which means that you had the Giluyim, I guess, through the level of Pesach, through the level of opening, through the level of Malchus. But in the future to come, this will be open without any levush. Because that your master, your teacher will no longer hide, which means that in the future to come, all these giluyim will take place openly. There will be no concealment. There's going to be lo yikonef. He won't hide. So basically, in the Geula HaSidom, you get his galus openly. You get the level of Atik, the level of Pnimius Atik, all these Giluyim. Yes, Bigla Alein Kveder Ba'atzmai is also, Beizis Mitzrayim was the greatest Madregas, but it all came through Malchus, which Hashem jumped over Malchus. But, okay, so that's why we compare them. But yet, Yitzias, yet the Gula Asida is much higher. So the Rebbe explains over here that the Giluyim that come about on Yitzias in the future come from the Nun Sharibina, the way they are in Keser, in Atik, in Pnimius Atik, and in Yitzias Mitzrayim, but it's still compared because there was also the Gilui of the great levels, but it came through Malchus. And that's why we still can call it Yitzias Mitzrayim. We still compare it to Yitzias Mitzrayim, but it's still Neflo is much harder. But the Rebbe is going to continue to ask, but how could we still compare it to Yitzias Mitzrayim? Since over here we're saying that it's much higher, but for that we'll wait. Over here we're saying that it's still very high. It's without a concealment. You get it directly. Mashenki Yitzias Mitzrayim, it came through Malchus. So why are we comparing it? And that we will continue, Mr. Hashem, tomorrow as we go through it. Okay?
That's correct. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.